Moved. Moved by Paula. Do I get a second?
Second from
I
Mary.
don't know who said
Mary.
that. Okay, seconded. Aye.
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 Abstain.
Thank you. Poor thing, you sound terrible. Okay. Good evening, everyone. The first slide. I don't know who has the clicker now. Sleeping on the job, Mr. Weathers. It's not working? Okay. They may not be able to watch it at home, or actually, they probably can watch it at home through Zoom. People in the audience can't watch it, but the first slide is the slide that just goes over some of the latest COVID data.
We don't see anything
Yeah.
on Zoom, just so you know.
Okay. They're working on trying to make sure it's at least on Zoom. One more. There we go. Okay, I did notice after I had Holly create these slides that I left off May 4th. So you'll see these just a week's worth or so of data in terms of the number of positive cases in our district. We have seen an uptick in positive cases, just like the state has seen. We were averaging about 5 or 6 cases per week prior to this uptick, and now we're seeing some days, as you can tell there, 6, 5, 7, and so on. So we're just watching that very carefully. The next slide, Mr. Weathers. This is, again, taken right off of our COVID dashboard. Today's data, 6 positive cases, and the locations of those cases, so that everyone's aware. You can also see on the bottom of that chart the number of students and staff who are in quarantine or isolation as a result of COVID. And this dashboard, again, is updated daily. And then the next slide, Mr. Weathers, is just the information that's updated weekly, which is the number of positive cases, cumulative positive cases from the beginning of the year, and resolved cases. So we're keeping track of that. Again, I have to always shout out to our COVID team, who continues to keep track of the data and report out to the Department of Public Health, as we are obligated to continue to do. Any COVID questions? Okay, so then we're going to go to the next item on my report, which is an update on the educational space we are looking to rent for our assisted work program, our 18 to 22 year old program, and our core program of the alternative high school. So we gave you an update on that. We hope to have a lease available for the Finance and Audit Committee next week. The attorneys have been going back and forth with the updates to the updates, right, Ms. Craw? So we hope to have a finalized lease agreement that we can put forth to the Finance and Audit Committee and then to the full board at the next meeting. But we have a location picked out we think will work for both of those programs. Any questions about the potential location?
Yeah, I'm just curious, since we already have it staffed, so all of that staff will transfer to the new location. Will it be necessary to hire any additional nurses or social workers or support staff in a new location?
It's a great question. I'm going to let Ms. Cross step up to the microphone and just as a reminder to the board, while Suzanne's getting to the microphone, we were required to move this program out of the middle school by the State Department of Ed, so it can't stay where it is.
So we'll be utilizing a lot of staff that's already, we have a vacancy for a district head nurse, so our head nurse would be assigned to that program. So it won't be a new nursing position. We do have a full-time social worker currently working as a job coach right now, who will be certified in the fall, so we'll be moving her to a social work position. And then we are asking for, I'm not quite sure the new title, but it formerly was known as a security officer that will be joining, just to make sure we have someone to help with any reports needed.
Any other questions before she sneaks away? No, okay. Thanks, Susan. Ms. Carl. Okay, moving on to celebrations. Mr. Weathers, you got the clicker? Okay, the first celebration, and it looks like we have a large contingent from Barrow School, is the celebration. Oh, that's not the right slide. I'm sorry, I'm going by the agenda, and it's, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. C.H. Barrow STEM Academy was named to the 2022 U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon Schools. It's a pretty elusive title. We're very happy about them being named to this particular category. Only 36 honorees, 36 schools across the country were identified. It essentially means that they're being recognized for creating an environment, creating a mindset around sustainability, and civic responsibility tied to that sustainability and environmentally friendly opportunities for our students to take part in. So I haven't exactly figured out how we're going to celebrate with the Barrow staff, but I have some things in mind. So I appreciate them all being here tonight, and just another shout out. It's been a stellar year for you all. I know you're feeling the positive energy around that. So congratulations to Barrow School, and thank you for being here and hearing that. Any questions about the green ribbon distinction? You can clap for them. We can clap for them. And I don't know if anyone who came in afterwards wants to say anything. perfectly have the opportunity to do so, and I'm okay if you're just here for support, too. Whatever works.
I'll just say that it's very rewarding and gratifying to, as it always is when you set a goal at the beginning of the year and you accomplish it. My whole team is here that worked on it, and it was quite a rigorous process and a lot of information we had to submit to the state through endless applications. That really speaks to everything that we do as a school and why we felt like we qualified for a green ribbon. And as you said, it's pretty hard to get, 36 schools in the whole country. So yeah, it feels very gratifying, and we're all pretty proud.
Excellent.
Appreciate you acknowledging this.
Absolutely. And for those board members or people at home who can't see, that's Mr. Bob Kalajian, Assistant Principal at the Barrow STEM Academy. Mr. McClure might be on the line. I know he wasn't feeling well today, but thank you to all that showed up in support of Barrows. Congratulations once again.
I have a question.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. It looks like the next item on my celebrations is lock-in for literacy. Mr. Weathers? Yes, that's coming. This is just a reminder that the lock-in for literacy is an event that takes place at the high school. Just about annually. We had some interruptions as a result of COVID, but it's taking place on Friday, May 13th. Approximately 175 students from all 4 of the high school grades will participate in this particular lock-in. It is a voluntary event that students are usually very excited about. So just giving everyone a reminder about our lock-in for literacy. Any questions? Okay. Next up is a celebration of the new partnership between Hartford Healthcare, Windham Hospital, and Windham High School. And I see I have Principal Kavanaugh in the audience. We're going to show you the quick video that ran on NBC News. Okay, so we're going to see if we, is it good?
There is a new team effort to get students into the healthcare industry from Windham. It's a marketing partnership between Windham Hospital and Windham High School. ABC Connecticut's Julie Sherman explains how it will support the town's future nurses, surgeons, and doctors. To help students pursue their careers in healthcare, Windham Hospital plans to create a nursing curriculum at Windham High School. So when students graduate from high school, they will have the opportunity, they have the training they need. Windham juniors and
I don't know if there's any questions. I'll just give you a quick little overview or a little background on it. It sounds like this particular partnership has been in the works, at least in talking stages, for several years now. And I don't know, Pam, if you have any information to share about how it suddenly came about, but we were very excited when they came over to Windham High School to ask if we'd be interested in developing this partnership to sort of strengthen and solidify our health science pathway. But at the same time, just to open up all of the job opportunities that Hartford Healthcare and Windham Hospital actually have. They brought the list of their open positions, the ones that don't require necessarily specialized skills, and students could potentially, if they so chose, to get a job right out of high school. So we feel like this is an opportunity to show our students that whatever they choose to do in their post-secondary, whatever their post-secondary aspirations are, they have an opportunity here in a hospital right down the road that is willing to hire them and mentor them and support them. The president of Hartford Healthcare, I had the opportunity, you saw her in the news clip, Donna is her first name. I had the opportunity to speak to her at length during our visit, and she really has an amazing view of just helping to develop young people and grow them over time in these careers. I felt very connected to her in terms of her philosophy about taking care of humans. So I felt really good about the partnership when we left, and I think, Ms. Kavanaugh, you and I were feeling the same, like this is a great opportunity for our kids no matter how you look at it. So I don't know if there's any questions about the new partnership.
I do not have any questions, but I want to congratulate you and Ms. Kavanaugh and staff for fomenting and promoting that partnership, which is really needed. We have to actually do the same with Eastern and start our teachers pool and, cultivate our own kids to stay in this town and be professionals and have jobs here.
I couldn't agree more, and we have to definitely thank the mayor, Tom DeVivo, for his connections, and Mr. Randall Prose for the work he's done in this particular career exploration part of his job. So, thank you very much. Any other questions or comments about?
And they're good jobs, so it's a really good pipeline for people who are interested in serving in that way.
Absolutely, it's a win-win, so we're excited. So congratulations, Windham High School, who has also had a stellar year in terms of recognitions and positive things happening. So we're moving things along. Last on my list is the Teacher Staff Appreciation. May 2nd through May 6th is the National Teacher Appreciation Week. So all of our schools did a variety of things to show their appreciation to our teachers. And the district pushed out a gift to all of the teachers and staff members, and I have to thank Holly and Sandra in my office for working really hard, and actually other members of our central office to push out those gifts. It's not the easiest thing to do to turn around 800 gifts in a short period of time, so wanted to shout out to everyone who helped. And I also want to mention, while we're on the teacher appreciation, last night I attended the Teacher of the Year celebration at the Bushnell. It was a double year celebration because we missed one as a result of COVID. So it was celebrating the 2021 and 2022 Teacher of the Year, Kelly Folan and Erin Holden. So Kelly Folan is a teacher at Windham High School. Erin Holden is a teacher at North Windham, and it was a really fun event. It took a long time, but I think everyone understood it was a lengthy celebration because it was 2 years combined into one. So any other questions on my report? Okay, thank you.
Brendan?
Thank you, Lynn. School Planning and Design Committee met back on, when was this now? April 12th. We discussed the facilities department is getting ready for projects over summer break, starting the planning and preparation for that. We discussed the solar project at North Windham, that is moving forward as part of the roof project and not the separate Green Skies proposal at this time. And we talked about trying to get some more data on the current solar implementations that are in our schools, make sure we're getting our return on investment in those. We discussed the roof and oil tank projects for the 4 elementary schools. The oil tanks at Sweeney and Natchog are coming out this summer. The others are still in the process of being approved by the state. We discussed the continuation of planning for capital improvements over the next 3 to 5 years, and that is data that's still being collected and put together. Ms. Tamakos is developing a list of items needed to refurbish the portables should we not be able to end usage of them as part of the ongoing consolidation talk we're talking about. Dr. Youngberg mentioned that we've invited the state to come out and visit Natchog to see if it's possible to renovate that school. At the time of the meeting, we didn't have a date, but I do believe that's been scheduled since, correct?
Yes, that's May 20th, and I want to say it's 1 o'clock. I got it. Thank you.
Thanks. And then over April break, there were contractors building an ADA ramp for the portables at Windham Center to make sure we're in compliance there. There was a meeting originally scheduled for early May, but that did get canceled, although we do have a few items for the next meeting in June. Any questions?
Yes, Brendan, this is probably for Tracy, though. I know we got the notice about the Natchog School visit and tour on May 20th. Should people contact you directly, Tracy, and let your office know if they're planning on coming? Should staff members or board members?
Board members should probably let me know so I'll know when we're all there to begin the question session and talking with the state reps. That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, we met last Wednesday, which I think was May 5th. We discussed a bit the science materials at the high school and the maps. That was sort of a kind of training exercise for us just to familiarize this new committee with curricular materials. We will be looking more at future needs. So, looking at what we currently have and then deciding where our efforts need to be placed for future curricular needs in math, especially K-12. There are some changes in the K-8 math curriculum using Eureka, I think is the textbook. And we also got notification about the professional development associated with that. And I was actually happy to learn that Natchog was sort of on the forefront and the vanguard of looking at that particular material, and a lot of teacher-led investigations. And so that was just a nice thing to hear about the teachers taking part in this discussion. We also noted that if textbooks are going to be changed, the board needs to know, just so we can get the votes in according to state statute. And we would like, as a committee, to keep the board up to date on the curriculum and any kinds of changes that are made, and how to best assess the efficacy of the curriculum in terms of student achievement. A future topic which came up after the meeting was just to look at world languages at the high school. Thank you. Are there any questions?
What at the high school?
World languages.
thank you very much, and we'll move on to the policy committee, and you're up, Bettina.
Hi, good evening, everybody. We met on April 28th, as usual at the end of the month. We had a very interesting conversation. We understand that the policies that, well, we know that the policies that you're being recommended to repeal today is because they are repetitive of some that we have already approved in the April 27th meeting regarding sexual harassment. So that's why they are not there for a second reading. We also talked about the fact that actually the behavior and routine of sending the policies to the Board of Education for first and second reading is not mandatory. Somehow that started happening, but after consulting with our legal team, there's no need for doing that. So one of our proposals tonight from the committee is that at the committee level, we would decide, like very much tonight, to say, okay, this does not need a second reading. Please consider repealing them. But those who are more either newer or so complex, we would suggest then to the board for 2 readings. So let it be decided at the committee level whether the policy that we submit to you is for 1 or 2 readings. Ms. Garrett and Ms. Brunette were there and talked a little about different policies, some of the minor changes in the oh, what's the name in English? Yes, say that again? The lottery, because we have to meet the dateline and according to the state, and has to do with the ages of the children. And basically, that's what we discuss. Is any other member of the committee would like to add anything or have any questions, please do. Okay. Oh, Mary.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Okay. Or actually a comment. You know, a reading of a policy or a bill is actually a stage of debate. You know, it comes through parliamentary procedure. We have discussed this previously a couple of years ago, and I don't see the drawback of having 2 readings. I understand if it's something we're just renewing or, you know, repealing a repetitive thing. However, I do think policies should be subjected to the 2 readings, the first of which is the introduction, because I think it's a problem when we get something cold and we may not have had a chance to read a packet and then we have to vote. So that's just my input on that.
Yes, excellent, and we all agree on that. So at the committee level, and thank you for participating, we will see, you know, what level it is, and we will defer to the second reading more common than not. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, I defer to,
Ms. Brunei, yeah.
yes, Ms. Brunei. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll introduce myself again. I'm Beth Brunet. I'm the Director of Equity and Multilingual Education. I'm going to walk you through any of the changes that you have questions about that are in the edits here, suggested edits. And also, just so you know, I'm here because a large portion of this policy has to do with the Compañeros Lottery. But Barrows Lottery is also in this policy. And there is one thing that's not in the edits that you might want to know about. It's on page, let me see what page it would be for you. It's on the second page of the policy at the very top. That December 31st date for turn age 5 by, that one should also say January 1st. That's the state's new date. Somehow it's left off in this copy. And we're going to double check on the pre-K age. That's just the line above. So those are 2 more follow-up little pieces. But I'll give you a second to read through, and if you have any questions about suggested edits, we can do that.
It's a little hard to hear from,
It's because I'm so short.
there's a little bit of, there's a little bit of reverberation in the room. Are you saying that those 2 additions would be made before we get it back for
A second reading.
for action?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Any of the particular edits or suggestions that you want me to talk through about reasoning or justification? I mean, most of the edits were for clarity in language. There were a couple of edits that have to do with additional programmatic things that have been added in terms of serving students better within our dual language program. And so those are a couple of minimal things, but you might notice them. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. And then, of course, on the last page, you'll see that the word policy was used instead of the word addendum. So it was kind of a funny mistake, but we want to make sure that's corrected.
So if I understand you correctly, the word policy will be eliminated and addendum will be put in, and the dates that the state mandates will be added. for
Right, the dates will be
pre-K
added on
and K.
page 2. And the last part where it says addendum, at the very end of the addendum, it used to say this policy will no longer be in effect, but it was meant to be this addendum will no longer be in effect after that date. So just a correction, a typo that we need to fix.
Thank
And
you.
It sounds like there'll be several small changes then.
Yes.
Yeah, just a couple of, yep. But everything that's proposed is in blue, strikeouts are in red.
And if board members have questions after tonight, they can reach out to me and
Absolutely,
you as
yeah.
well.
And we talked through actually all of these changes at the committee level. So, and we can always do follow-up. So if we're good for tonight, I can step away.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Holly's shaking her head yes.
Yes, okay. So, there was like a packet with a few things sent out late in the afternoon or early evening by Holly. And, I don't have it printed out in front of me, but it had to do with changing the date of the New York field trip from May 13th to May 12th, correct?
Do you have those changes? I don't have it in front of me. Oh, do I have it in front of me? I do have it in front of me, I'm so sorry. Have it on the other page. So yes, there's a change from the 13th to the 12th because transportation was not available on the 13th.
So I would entertain a motion to add an item to the agenda for action to change the date of the Windham High School field trip to New York from May 13th to May 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Was that Brendan
Brandon and
and
Katina.
Katina?
Mhm.
Okay. Any discussion? Since it's happening tomorrow, I hope we can get this done. Okay, hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote, please. Aye.
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 Okay, so it's added to the agenda, and I'm hoping now that we can take action on that as well as the other field trips. The other 3 field trips that are on our agenda for this evening in one motion if possible.
And Ms. Ide, in addition to the changing the date for the Windham High School field trip, there were some additional requests that we received that we wondered if we could add as well. We probably could have done it all. Okay.
Sure, I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Does somebody who has it written in front of them want to read what the add-ons would be, and I'll entertain a motion to add those on too for approval.
I can do it for you. The second request to add on was Windham Middle School trip to the Boston Science Museum for June 14th. It was received late. The third add-on is Charles Barrow STEM Academy trip to Sturbridge Village on June 10th. Then Natchog Elementary School a trip to Roger Williams Zoo on June 9th. I know it's a lot. I can kind of explain what's happening. And then North Windham School a trip to Sturbridge Village on June 1st. And then Windham High School a trip to the Museum of African American History on May 31st. So there's been a little bit of, I think, out-of-state travel. Everyone's, first of all, really excited about the fact that they are allowed to take students out of state. And one school makes a decision to take the trip, and then everyone else is, wants to get on the bandwagon. And I think, quite frankly, because of COVID and the fact that we haven't taken field trips in so long, they may have forgotten that you need board approval on out-of-state trips. So we were just sort of slammed with additional requests.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to.
So moved.
So moved. Moved by Paula with a second from.
Second.
Katina. Okay, thank you. Aye.
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 Aye. So moved.
Mark, seconded by
Katina.
Katina, okay.
Or Alicia.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, maybe in the future, we could have all the, elementaries go to Sturbridge Village and on one day, and all the middle school, I mean, have a tradition so that's maybe better with the buses. But right now, I'm really excited for all the kids.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Well-
Okay, we'll take a roll call vote then, please, Holly. Aye.
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 Okay. Let the field field trips commence. So the next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding policies. Excuse my voice. So the first item up is the policy committee practice regarding first and second readings. And I'll entertain a motion on this, and then if it gets made, we'll have discussion. Katina, seconded by
Mary?
Mary. This is your recommendation to have the committee itself, when they're reviewing policies, to bring to the board, suggest whether or not we have just one reading or two readings
Okay, so,
on a case-by-case basis.
on a case-by-case basis, correct. You
Okay.
well described it. So on a monthly meeting, we would discuss case by case as the policies are being brought, which ones are, like, for example, to repeal or small amendments of dates or updates, and the others who demand thorough and deep reflection from board members, and then those would go to two readings. In that case would be new policies or policies that need major revisions because of changes in laws or any other issues, like Mary well said.
If they didn't feel there was enough time to review it, even if it seems simple to the committee. Or something like
Correct.
that.
It's always the priority of the board to send things back to committees to be reviewed or explained better.
Paula, did you say something?
I just said that sounds clear.
Okay. Brendan, do you have your hand up?
I just want to say, considering that the committee is working on this massive, cleanup of our policy, I think this is going to be really important, because otherwise our board agendas are going to get very, very cluttered very, very fast.
Aye.
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 And make a motion that we take both B2 and B.
Any details about these repeals?
I'm going to defer to Mrs. Garrett. And I do know that we have considered and approved these policies on April 27th meeting. But if anybody has any questions,
Yeah.
Stephanie will.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay,
Sorry.
go ahead, Cody.
And maybe I don't know who can answer it, but why Where are I get the idea is that these are redundant. Where are they covered elsewhere?
Okay.
Okay, these are old policies. Okay, they just
Right.
look similar.
And I think that's what Stephanie's going to explain, but we're asking to get rid of these because we've already encompassed all of this in another policy
Got it,
we've
okay.
approved.
Ready? Just making sure I got my little notes here, 1 second. So, when the sexual harassment policy was written, so the way that Shipman and Goodwin gave us the whole, we're doing the recommendations based on what they gave us because they reviewed all of our policies. And so when I was going through the policies, I was looking at just the ones that went in alignment or because they put them in chronological order. I didn't recognize at the time that our policies are out of chronological order. So when they recommended that we adopt their sexual harassment policy, we went ahead and did that and just repealed and replaced it with their model policy. However, as I went down for other policies to review, it made reference to their model policy for sexual harassment. It said they recommend that we remove these two policies on the list and replace them with the sexual harassment policy. But we didn't do that last time because I didn't see it. So had I understood at the time that our policies are not chronologically in order, I would have gone through everything that said sexual harassment, which is what I'm doing now, and making sure that I connect all of the policies together for whatever that one model policy that they say we should review. So that's why it's redundant, because we already have adopted a sexual harassment policy at the last meeting.
Thank you.
And I will remind everybody that the sexual harassment policies are based on Title IX and Title VII of the federal government, protecting every employee from sexual harassment.
Yes. And there's actually a student policy that'll come up when we're doing the student policies as well.
Anybody else have any other questions or discussion they'd like to have on these before we take a roll call? My dog is squeaking, so I'm going to ask you to just go into a roll call vote on it. Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes, and I'm sorry about the squeaky dog toy. Now we're on to executive session, which I understand is going to be in a conference room for the people who are physically there, and the rest of us are going to call in on a conference call, or?
That is correct.
Okay. So for those of you who are joining us who aren't on the board and don't need to be, and administrators that need to be in that session, we'll be back after the session's over.
Okay, we're back. I make a
Okay,
motion.
If we could turn the sound on in the auditorium so that those on video can hear what's going on, that'd be great.
He's working on it.
Okay.
We just didn't hear you.
Thanks. So I'll entertain a motion at this point to add an item to the agenda for action on the custodian contract.
Yes, I make a motion, this is Mary, to add the custodian's contract to the agenda. Approval of the contract.
So motion's been made by Mary, do I get a second?
Second.
Second from Brendan. Okay, any discussion about adding this to the agenda? Okay, I will take a roll call vote, please, Holly. Aye.
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 He had to leave the meeting. Aye. Okay, so now, we're gonna discussion and action, if need be, on, approval of the custodians, the Windham Public Schools custodians contract.
I move we approve the Windham custodians contract.
So motion made by Brendan, I think it was,
Yes.
and seconded by Katina. Any discussion? Except that it's been a long time coming, and we're very happy to get to this point.
I see the relief on Dawn's face already.
So I guess we'll take a vote then, please. Roll call, Holly. Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. With that, there's time now for public comment, if anybody has any. Nothing in the chat, nothing there, okay. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:12 PM.
I move we move.
Second.
Meeting adjourned, thank you, everybody.
Feel better, Lynn.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care.